So when you're trying to figure out like a truly complex system, your brain immediately wants to look for the bottom of the ladder, right? We are just desperate to find that first rung.
Yeah, that ultimate starting point where the whole chain reaction begins. It's a deeply comforting image. We naturally want to trace every event backward until our feet hit solid ground.
Exactly. And today we're doing a deep dive into Boris Kriger's 2025 book, Beyond the First Cause, Primacy Without Priority, along with the mathematical topology research he
This
cites.
is a fascinating stack of sources.
It really is. Our mission for you today is to explore why the oldest question in human history, what came first, might actually be a massive logical trap. We are going to look at what happens when you realize some structures aren't ladders at all, they are closed loops.
And in those closed loops, the entire search for a first cause just completely falls apart.
Completely falls apart.
Right. I mean, Krieger introduces this concept called the principle of cyclical hierarchy of systems, or PCHS. The core argument is that in a closed, mutually dependent structure, demanding to know what grounds all of this is a classic category error.
And a category error is essentially using the wrong mental tool for the job, like trying to measure the temperature of a song.
That is a great way to put it. The book illustrates this beautifully with a university analogy. Imagine a visitor touring a campus. The guide shows them the library, the dorms, the science labs, and, the lecture halls.
Right.
At the end of the tour, the visitor looks around and asks, okay, but where is the university itself?
Oh, wow. Yeah, the logic is broken because they're looking for a specific building.
Exactly. They're applying a spatial category to what is actually an interactive, organized system.
Hmm.
The university is the relationship between all those parts.
So asking for the first cause in a closed loop is like opening up a running mechanical watch and demanding to know which gear is the first gear driving the time.
Right. They all move together.
But, I have to push back on this a bit. Human brains are hardwired by evolution to process reality as a linear narrative. A causes B.
Absolutely. It's how we navigate the world.
So if we just toss out the concept of a first cause, aren't we just throwing our hands up? It feels like an intellectual cop-out when we can't find the real origin story.
It definitely feels that way at first glance, but adopting this view actually requires far more discipline. You aren't giving up on an explanation.
You aren't.
No. Krieger argues that in cyclical structures, the role of a foundation doesn't just vanish, it circulates. Instead of sitting like a heavy concrete block at the bottom, the foundational role gets passed around.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
That brings us to one of the book's best concepts, the tripartite distinction. In a straight linear sequence, the source, the foundation, and the primacy are all the exact same thing.
Yep, they overlap perfectly.
But in a cyclical system, those roles separate out.
Think of the global water cycle. Evaporation, condensation, rain. You can't point to one step as the first cause of weather.
Because it's a loop.
Right. The ocean might be the source of the moisture, but the atmosphere temperature is the foundation that allows condensation to happen. The roles are distributed across the loop.
But wait, if the foundation is constantly handing off its job to the next element, does that mean Krieger is arguing the universe itself has no beginning?
Well, he is careful to avoid overstepping there. The book makes a narrower modal claim.
A modal claim.
Yes, meaning he is proving that self-sufficient closed structures without a beginning are mathematically and philosophically possible. He uses topology to prove this.
Topology, like the math of shapes.
Exactly. If you think of a Mobius strip, a surface twisted in a way that gives it only one continuous side, topology shows us how a mathematical structure can loop back on itself so perfectly that the very concepts of a beginning or an end just dissolve.
So linear logic, like me burning my toast because I left it in the toaster too long, that is still perfectly valid for everyday life. We just need this cyclical logic for more complex phenomena.
Everyday life? Absolutely. But look at biology. A biological cell actively manufactures the very parts that are required to manufacture the cell. That process is called autopoiesis.
Right. Or imagine two hypothetical advanced AI systems that continuously generate the operating rules for each other.
Yes.
Like two robots locked in the Spider-Man pointing meme forever, but actually building a stable, functioning reality out of it.
That is a highly technical way to put it, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
In those systems, cyclical dependence isn't a vicious paradox. It is a stable, coherent structure.
So for you listening, this book offers a totally new intellectual tool, holistic explanation. You don't always need a linear origin story to understand how a system is intelligible and how it holds itself together.
Which leaves you with a really fascinating thought to chew on.
I love those.
If our rigid demand for a first cause is just an evolutionary cognitive habit, what other supposedly unanswerable problems in your life or your work are actually just category errors waiting to be dissolved?
Wow, it really shifts your perspective. Sometimes you don't need to find the bottom of the ladder, you just need to realize you're standing in a loop.